Okay, good afternoon. Today is March 13th, and this is the voting session of the Ways and Means Committee. First up, we have a lot to get through, folks. So, and we're back on the floor. I mean, seemingly we have enough time, but we're back on the floor at 5. So, first up, House Bill 447, Delegate Wells.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The bill authorizes the county to grant a property tax credit to Habitat for Humanity of the Chesapeake. Move the bill.
Any discussion on the bill? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 447 passes favorably. House Bill 562, and there are amendments. Delegate, Vice Chair? No? Oh, you did tell me that. Delegate Griffith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The bill requires that 3 members of the County Republican Party Central Committee be elected from each councilman district instead of 4. The amendments alter the number of members of the County Democrat Party Central Committee elected from each legislative district. Move the amendments.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of Delegate Long?
Baltimore County delegation bill.
One moment, Mr. Ward.
The amendments make that change.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 562 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 570, Talbot County Bill, Delegate Wells.
The bill alters the time when a hotel in the county has to, I can't read, when a hotel in the county has to pay a penalty for unpaid hotel rental tax. Move the bill.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 570 passes favorably. House Bill 598, Delegate Wells.
The bill authorizes the county or municipality in the county to grant a personal property tax credit to a supermarket that completes eligible construction and is located in a food desert. Move the bill.
Second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? House Bill 598 passes favorably. House Bill 702, Delegate Plakovich-Carr? No? No. Oh, sorry, yes, this is, no one's prepared for this because we just did this. This bill requires each local Board of Education to develop and publish on its website a list of all special education service delivery models provided to parentally placed private school students within the jurisdiction of the local school system. Any discussion? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 702 passes favorably. House Bill 750, Delegate Wells.
The bill alters eligibility requirements for an existing property tax credit for economic development projects in the county. Move the bill.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 750 passes favorably. House Bill 771, and there are amendments. So, as amended, the bill requires the Maryland Department of Health to establish a program for student dental health. The program must provide standards for recommended periodic dental examination of students and dental information for students and parents. The State Department of Education must support and facilitate each county board in publishing the information created under the program on the local school system website and in student handbooks. And we did pass this last session. I move the amendments. Any discussion on the amendments? Delegate Plakovich-Carr. Alistair.
What do standards for recommended periodic dental examinations mean? Is that like suggestions of how frequently kids should be going into the dentist, but not a requirement?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's pass. I move the bill as amended. Okay, any discussion on the bill as amended? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 771 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 791, Delegate Wells.
The bill authorizes the county to impose an emergency services tax to fund fire, rescue, and emergency medical services. Move the bill.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 791 passes favorably. House Bill 910, Delegate Wells.
The bill increases the property tax exemption for the dwelling of a blind individual from $15,000 to $40,000. Move the bill.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 910 passes favorably. House Bill 949, we are going to hold. House Bill 953, and there are amendments. Delegate Griffith.
Which one?
Sorry, I messed up, but you can do that one. Just do both of them.
You just
I was going
handed
to give him the broadband one, but
I don't worry about it. You got
okay.
it.
I'll do the.
She's literally just handed it to me.
I'm sorry, Delegate. The next one will be you. As amended, the bill, as amended, the bill continues annual funding for the homeowner protection program at the current level of $750,000 annually, with $250,000 contributed by the state and $500,000 contributed by the counties collectively. The bill also prohibits charging interest to enrollees in the program and requires information on the program to be posted on county property tax websites. So move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, motion on the bill as amended? Discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 953 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 969, and there are amendments. Delegate Griffith.
All right. This bill requires SAT to use certain methods to determine the value of property owned by a rural broadband service provider. The amendments strike the language relating to the valuation of property of a rural broadband service provider and substitute an authorization for counties to enter into a payment in lieu of taxes agreement with broadband service providers. Move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's passed. Motion on the bill is amended. Second. Okay, any discussion on the bill as amended? Delegate Griffith? Me too?
Yes, please.
Okay, anyone else? Delegate Wells? Okay, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 969 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 998, Delegate Wells.
The bill authorizes the county to provide a property tax credit for real property that was formerly used solely as a tobacco barn. Move the bill.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 998 passes favorably. House Bill 1121, and there are amendments. Delegate Plakovich-Carr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As amended, this bill establishes the Youth Transitioning from Foster Placement to Successful Adulthood pilot program administered by the State Department of Education to assist foster youth in applying for and accessing subsidies for their children in the Child Care Scholarship Program. The amendments specify that the personal information of a foster parent should not be collected as part of the scholarship application process. Move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the amendments passed. Motion on the bill is amended. Okay, any discussion? Delegate Griffith? Okay. Okay, if you'd like to be a me too, please raise your hand. Tell me when you're ready. You ready? Okay. The vice chair, Delegate Ebersol, Delegate Patterson, Delegate Buckle, Delegate Fair, Delegate Hornberger, Delegate Miller, Delegate Roberts, Delegate Wims, Delegate Vogel, Delegate Wu, Delegate Miracle North, Delegate Griffith, Delegate Wells, Delegate Plavkovich Carr, Delegate Feldmark, and Delegate Roberson, and the chair. Okay, all in favor of House Bill 1121 as amended signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1121 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 1169, and there are amendments. As amended, this bill requires the Howard and Montgomery County Boards of Education to close public schools on a specified list of holidays. Any discussion on the, any discussion on the amendments? Delegate Ebersol?
Did we have a letter from Howard County on this?
No?
Okay, very interesting. Thank you for telling me.
Any other discussion on the amendments? Can you turn your mic on?
My question was,
What's your question? It's not for me, right?
well, you might be able to answer it as the chair of the delegation. So my question was, since Howard County was added on as an amendment, did we have a letter from the Howard County delegation approving this amendment?
No. The reason for that, unfortunately, we don't have enough people vote on that day. With enough delegates, we'll be able to vote this out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is your bill.
Delegate Buckle?
I just had a question more about the bill. What are the holidays that we're adding? Or we're requiring, I guess, rather than adding?
The amendments add Juneteenth. Go ahead. I don't have the list of all of them.
I believe it's Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, Lunar New Year, and Diwali.
How many days is that? It's like seven holidays in addition to all the schedule? I'm just asking.
It's 8 days.
Do you want me to answer?
1 second, 1 moment, please. 1 moment.
That's fine. All right. I mean, Juneteenth.
It's 8 days.
I don't know the exact, I think Juneteenth is what, is it the 18th? 19th? No one's in school then, at least I'm pretty sure in Maryland, no one's in school on June 19th, but okay. Thank you.
Delegate Wu? Delegate Plavkovich Carr?
Thank you, Madam Chair. To answer your question, Delegate Buckle, so this is just for when students don't need to be in, and I can't speak for Howard County, but when the bill came through my delegation, our school district was already accommodating all but one of these days in our calendar. So, and this is just going to ensure that they continue to do that.
Hey, we don't have school that day.
They could be
with
like professional
everybody, Or is it
development
just
days.
if I'm of that particular faith or celebrate that holiday, I don't get marked as some kind of
Correct.
of absence to be there? It's excused essentially.
All students would be out. They could be professional development days, central office staff would continue to work, but the students would not be there those days. Again, in Montgomery County, they already were doing this for all but one date.
Okay.
I think we were doing most of them too as professional development days, but now they're actually marked as the holiday. Delegate Fair?
Procedurally, I'd like to move the amendments, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Second. Delegate Miller?
Do you know if some of them, if they tracked absences? Because I think some of the, I mean, we already have like a lot of them in Frederick County as well, but there is some legal precedent as far as like if that day is going to cause a lot of absences and things like that. So I just didn't know if anyone had looked into that.
Delegate Wu?
Right now, both Montgomery County and Howard County actually took those days off for students already. So this just codified their practice.
Any other discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended? Okay, any discussion on the bill? Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill, where are we? 1169 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 1207, and there are amendments. As amended, the bill authorizes the student member of the Montgomery County Board of Education to receive compensation in the form of a stipend paid out in monthly installments rather than only through a college scholarship. Move the amendments. Second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendments pass. Move the bill as amended. Second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1207 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 1265, and there are amendments. So, as amended, the bill alters the list of reportable offenses, crimes for which if a student is arrested, law enforcement must report that to the public schools. It requires that the state's attorney notify all involved public school officials on the disposition of a reportable offense case, and requires that if a superintendent has been notified about a reportable offense case for a student transferring to a different school system, that they must notify the superintendent in that system. Additionally, the Department of Juvenile Services must notify local superintendents about reportable offenses and related information for students in their custody with a reportable offense who transfer to a local school system. The bill requires that the State Department of Education, in consultation with several related groups, develop an operational protocol for information sharing related to reportable offenses and report on the results of their work. Finally, the bill removes students from a crime involving prohibited behavior on school grounds. The amendment strikes several reportable offenses related to dangerous controlled substances, second-degree assault, personal property, false testimony, motor vehicle theft, and burglary. Offenses added to the list are visual surveillance with prurient intent and threats of mass violence. The amendments require a local superintendent to transmit, I said this actually already, okay. And that, yep, I said the rest. So move the amendments. Okay, any discussion on the amendments?
I'm sorry. Yeah, is this something that is currently in practice for codifying, or this is just a new set of standards?
This is a new set of standards.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on the amendments? Delegate Vogel?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm a little confused with the insert and remove. Can you just clarify that piece in terms of which crimes we are adding or removing? I'm trying to remember from the hearing that we had.
So we are adding two that Delegate Griffith had in his bill, which are threats of mass violence and visual surveillance with prurient intent, which means like taking your camera and putting it up somebody's skirt or something like that. We are removing a lot of the offenses, and if Alistair has the list, he can go through them. I don't have it in front of me. We're removing a lot of the nonviolent reportable offenses, but I'll let Alistair. And we worked on this with judiciary.
I think that answers my question. I'm just, by removing them, that means that they're, by adding them, that means that they now are reportable offenses.
Right.
Okay,
And we've
got it.
removed the nonviolent reportable offenses.
Got it, thank you.
Any other, Delegate Miller?
And then the Department of Juvenile Services, that kind of mitigates some of the confusion on what should be reportable from that and does some standards and protocols around. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, I move the bill as amended. Second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1265 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 1303, and there are amendments. Delegate Plavkovich-Carr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As amended, this bill requires the State Board of Education to provide a pathway for an individual who is qualified to be a child care teacher but lacks proof of necessary educational attainment to be able to attest to their credentials. And the amendment strikes specific requirements for child care center teachers and instead take the approach described above. Move the amendments.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Motion on the bill is amended. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1303 passes favorably as amended. Can we just take a one?
We are still.
Okay, sorry about that. We are back. House Bill 1333, Delegate Wells.
The bill expands eligibility for the county property tax credit for disabled veterans to include non-military uniform services such as a public health service. Move the bill.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1333 passes favorably. House Bill 1343, Delegate Wells.
The bill exempts personal property used by a large family child care home in the county from property tax. Secondly, it authorizes the county or a municipality in the county to grant a real property tax credit to a child care center or daycare center. Move the bill.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 1343 passes favorably. House Bill 1372, Delegate Wells.
The bill alters notice requirements for the county's tax sale, including requirements for newspaper publication, posting on the county's website, and mailed notice to the property owner. Move the bill.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 1372 passes favorably. House Bill 1523, Delegate Wells.
The bill increases the maximum hotel rental tax rate the county may impose from 7% to 8% and requires that any revenue attributable to a rate above 7% must be distributed to the County Tourism Council. Move the bill.
Okay, any discussion? Yep.
I'd like to very briefly say I intend to vote in favor of this tax increase only because it is local only, and Howard County, as I think all counties, should be able to decide what to do with their own hotel motel rate and use the proceeds however they see fit. But otherwise, I do not enjoy voting for tax increases, but I'll support my very good friend Delegate Chow Wu and his endeavors for the hotel tax at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, House Bill Opposed? Delegate Long is opposed. We just voted for your local bill. We just voted for your local Baltimore County bill. Right, we're gonna hold that one. Yeah. House Bill 1523 passes. House Bill 1524, and there are amendments. As amended, the bill adds one or more non-voting student members to the Wycomico County Board of Education to be compensated with a scholarship established by the county board and requires that beginning with the general election of 2026, the 7 elected members of the board must each be elected from one of the 7 councilmanic districts in the county. As a result, there are no at-large members of the board under the bill. Move the amendments. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendments signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, I move the bill as amended. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1524 passes favorably as amended. Moving on to voting list numero 7. The bill that Delegate Wells has been waiting for. House Bill 258, and there are amendments. Sorry. Delegate Belmont.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 258 alters the composition, powers, and duties of the West North Avenue Development Authority, establishes that the authority is a body politic and corporate and an instrumentality of the state, and makes the authority permanent. The amendments require the authority to be self-sufficient beginning fiscal year 2028 and submit a report on its progress towards being so, limits the authority's abilities to exercise eminent domain, and extend the termination date of the authority by 3 years rather than making the authority permanent. Move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended.
Move favorable. Second.
Any discussion? Oh, Delegate Wells?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, I just wanted to thank Madam Chair and Council and the subcommittee for really working with us on this bill. The powers that this will enable, I think, will help support them to become more self-sufficiency, and I just really thank you for all the discussion and your support, so thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Delegate Long?
You know, I heard eminent domain in that amendment. What did that refer to?
The amendment limits the exercise of eminent domain by prohibiting it from being exercised with respect to owner-occupied residential properties.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 258 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 328, and there are amendments. Delegate Patterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 328, as amended, adds fraternal organizations to the organization that the State Lottery and Gaming Control Agency may issue a license to for up to 5 instant ticket lottery pull tab machines. There are 2 amendments. The amendments clarify the distribution of proceeds from the bill and alter certain requirements concerning the conduct of gaming through instant ticket lottery machines. Move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended. Second. Any discussion?
Sorry, me too again, please.
Okay, if you would like to be a Me Too, raise your hand. Delegate Vogel, Delegate Griffith. Okay, all in favor of House Bill 328 as amended signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 328 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 337, and there are amendments. Delegate Patterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 337, as amended, the bill requires the comptroller, beginning in fiscal year 2026, to distribute $500,000 from the state lottery fund for supplemental local impact aid to Anne Arundel County, Howard County, and the city of Laurel from the proceeds of the racetrack lottery games. As amended, there are two. The amendments reduce the distribution to $250,000, authorize Anne Arundel County to utilize certain grant application processes to provide grants under the bill, and sunset the bill after 2 years. Move the amendments.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended. Discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 337 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 399, and there are amendments. Delegate Patterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 399, as amended, the bill authorizes an organization located in Baltimore City that is affiliated with a professional Major League Baseball team that plays its home games in Baltimore City to conduct raffles. There are two amendments. The amendments require the tickets to be sold using certain age verification measures, limit the sales of raffle tickets under the bill to within the boundaries of the professional baseball stadium, and sunset the bill after 3 years. Move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion? Delegate Roberson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can I ask what was the reasoning for the sunset?
Budget and Taxation also moved the bill in a similar posture and with a similar limitation.
Okay, so we're just conforming it to the Senate? Thank you.
Partially. The sunset piece is, and the other amendment saying that you have to be 21, but they used, 18? Okay, but they use different boundary language.
Well, could you clarify boundary language?
So this committee, I believe, Madam Subcommittee Chair, I believe the subcommittee said it has to be within the geographic boundaries of the actual stadium.
Oh.
The Senate used streets.
Got it.
That kind of expand it.
Oh, you mean actual like boundary, like,
Yes.
okay. Understood.
So that'll have to get worked out.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 399 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 402, Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 402 increases the compensation of scholarship to the student member of the board to $15,000. We have a letter from the Anne Arundel County delegation in support. Move the bill.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 402 passes favorably. House Bill 587, and there are amendments. Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill expands the honorably discharged veterans eligible to receive high school diplomas by including those who left a public or private school to enlist in the U.S. Armed Forces during armed conflicts that occurred in the 1990s and 2000s. I could name them if you like, authorized by the President of the United States or Congress. The amendment changed the bill from any armed conflict to the ones I just cited. Move the amendment.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's passed. Motion on the bill is amended. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 587 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 601, and there are amendments. Delegate Feldmark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 601 modifies the Maryland Small Business Development Financing Authority's long-term guarantee program by specifying that a guarantee provided under the program may be supported by the full faith and credit of the state of Maryland or by certain legal instruments. The amendments strike the provisions of the bill specifying that guarantees under the Maryland Small Business Development Financing Authority may be supported by the full faith and credit of the state. Move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, amendments passed. Motion on the bill is amended.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? House Bill 601 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 618, Delegate Patterson, and there are amendments. Delegate Patterson.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. As amended, this bill authorizes the State Lottery and Gaming Control Agency to establish a system or program that allows for the purchase of a state lottery subscription plan for certain lottery games through an electronic device that connects to the internet, such as a personal computer or mobile device. There are two amendments. The amendments specify the types of state lottery games that may be offered through a state lottery subscription plan, authorizes the agency to permit a lottery retailer to sell a voucher that may be applied to the cost of a subscription plan, and requires the agency to pay a commission for the sale of a voucher and renewal of a subscription originally funded by the voucher under certain conditions. Move the amendments.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's passed. Motion on the bill is amended. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of House Bill 618 as amended signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 618 passes favorably as amended, and we are one step further to bringing, the lottery into 2025. I didn't expect to get that reaction. House Bill 633, and there are amendments. Delegate Patterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As amended, this bill alters the definition of slot machine to exclude certain skill-based amusement devices. The amendment specifies a maximum value of the non-cash merchandise or prizes of value that may be awarded under the bill. Move the amendment.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Okay, House Bill 633 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 782, and there are amendments. Delegate Ebersol.
Chair, House Bill 782. Hold on, let's get a nice read on this one. House Bill 782. This bill requires the Maryland State Department of Education to study how best to detect deadly weapons on public, middle, and high school properties, and have schools rapidly report the detection of a deadly weapon to law enforcement. By December 1, 2025, the State Department must report its findings to the Speaker of the House and the House Ways and Means Committee in a manner that does not jeopardize school safety. Move the bill. We have an amendment. I don't know what the amendments are. Thank you.
Mr. Alastair. AJ.
AJ, right?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Wiki, wiki, wiki.
That is my wiki song. The amendments alter the entity responsible for doing the study from the State Department of Education to the Maryland Center for School Safety. They alter the method by which the study will be conducted from an audit to an evaluation in consultation with the local school systems. They amend the exact requirement for what's going to be in the evaluation, loosen up some of the language around what sorts of software can be looked at. Additionally, the amendments set, instead of one report due in the end of this current calendar year, there's an interim report due now and a final report due the following calendar year. And that is the extent of the amendments.
Okay.
Move those amendments, Madam Chair.
Second. Any discussion on the amendments? Delegate Young.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question pertains to the fiscal note. It was 340 when MSDE was on it. I see we changed it from audit to evaluation. So does any of this impact the fiscal note?
Yes.
The fact that it's an evaluation About $10,000 per school system or more as an audit. The evaluation takes it down to a more reasonable number. I don't know what the number is, but I think it's within our tolerances.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay. Yeah, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended. Okay, if you want to be a me too, raise your hand. Okay, tell me when you're ready. You ready? Okay. Delegate Ebersol, Delegate Patterson, Delegate Fair, Delegate Hornberger, Delegate Long, Delegate Young, Delegate Miller, Delegate Roberts, Delegate Wims, Delegate Vogel, Delegate Wu, Delegate Miracle North, Delegate Griffith, and Delegate Wells.
Sorry, me too.
And the Vice Chair. Okay, all in favor of House Bill 782 as amended signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 782 passes favorably. House Bill 841, Delegate Patterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 841 repeals the Charles County Gaming Permit Review Board, and the county attorney must assume the board's duties and responsibilities. Move the bill.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 841 passes favorably. House Bill 888, Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 888 expands the options for meeting the portfolio-based assessment requirements for initial teacher certificate by allowing a candidate to qualify through a portfolio-based assessment from a nationally accredited teacher preparation program. No amendments. I move favorable.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 888 passes favorably. Delegate Wu, you want to be me too? There are no amendments, right? We can't do me too on that one. Nope, sorry. Okay, House Bill 942, and there are amendments. Delegate Feldmark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 942 authorizes the governing body of a political subdivision, including Baltimore City, to designate by a resolution a non-contiguous blighted area within its jurisdiction as a development district for purposes of the Tax Increment Financing Act. The amendments strike provisions authorizing a governing body of a political subdivision to utilize the Community Development Administration to issue bonds under the bill and require the governing body to limit development within a development district designated under the bill to affordable housing. They also removes the applicability to Baltimore City. Move the amendments.
Second. Okay, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendments pass. Motion on the bill as amended. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 942 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 986, and there are amendments. Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill expands the teacher retention program that is in place across the state. In addition to current requirements, a new teacher retention program must provide teachers in the county with cohort-based opportunities, assign experienced teacher to each new teacher cohort to provide oversight and guidance, assign new teachers to a teacher mentor in the county who could be a retired teacher or provide support and information to the new teacher school, survey new teachers on the challenges and school climate of their school, provide principals with resources to support new teachers in these roles, incorporate the guidelines developed for state for the teacher incentive program. The amendments change the number of years that a teacher should have taught to be a part of this program from 2 years to 3 years, puts it in step with PSTEB, and there's a couple of technical amendments. Move the amendments. Second.
Any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendments pass. Motion on 986 as amended. Okay, any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 986. If you want to be a me too, raise your hand. You're against it? Okay, okay, everybody relax. If you're opposed, please raise your hand. Delegate Buckle is opposed.
He said there's a reason, it's because it's me. That's all.
Okay, if you would like to be a me too, raise your hand. Okay. Me Too's Delegate Vogel, Delegate Wu, Delegate Wells, the Vice Chair, Delegate Fair. That's okay. Delegate Wims. Okay, House Bill 1127, and there are amendments. Delegate Ebersol.
Yes, ma'am, we've seen this bill in a previous year. This bill would have made a requirement that we have a water safety and swimming instructional content. The amendments change it to water safety content and requires that there be a unit somewhere in physical education or in health class, once in elementary school, once in middle school, and once in high school that covers water safety so people students get exposed to it. I think that's all the amendment. The county has to develop the curriculum that they see appropriate. Anything else there, Ally J?
Sorry. The amendment also clarifies that the bill should not be construed to require a county to teach kids in swimming pools, and also gets rid of a requirement that each county has to come up with a plan to get kids to go to swimming pools by the end of the following calendar year from this year.
Move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended.
Move favorable.
Any discussion? Okay, if you're a Me Too, please raise your hand. Delegate Roberson. Okay, the Vice Chair, if she may be on it, but Delegate Patterson. Delegate Ebersol. Delegate Buckle. Delegate Fair. Delegate Hornberger. Delegate Miller. I think I said Roberson already, but okay. Delegate Roberts. Delegate Wims. Delegate Wu. Delegate Miracle North. Delegate Griffith. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1127 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 1267, Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1267 authorizes each local board of education to designate Veterans Day as a public school holiday. If the local board has not designated Veterans Day as a public school holiday consistent with current law, the public schools must devote a part of at least one day to an appropriate exercises for Veterans Holiday, Veterans Day. Move the bill, no amendments.
I believe it's, just to clarify, it's a may, they may do it.
Right.
Okay,
It authorizes them to do this.
Okay, thank
And
you.
if they don't do it, then they would need to have some kind of program.
okay. Any discussion? Okay, you have discussion, Delegate Wu?
Which kind of program?
Sorry?
Which kind of program?
Sorry. We didn't specify, we left it up to the local state.
Just
We didn't specify, we left up to the local school system to decide the scope and nature of the
Just
program.
kind of honor veterans. It's kind of related topic, right?
It's a local control
Okay,
thing.
thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1267 passes favorably. House Bill 1543, and there are amendments. Delegate Patterson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The bill authorizes competitively awarded Class B1 and B2 sports wagering facility licensees to submit a written request to the State Lottery and Gaming Control Commission to relocate a Class B sports wagering facility. There's one amendment, and it specifies that the new location for the sports wagering facility must be approved by the Sports Wagering Application Review Commission. Move the amendment.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendments pass. Motion on the bill is amended.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of House Bill 1543 is amended signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1543 passes favorably as amended. Great job, everyone. As always, pay attention to any subcommittee announcements. We will be having more voting sessions likely tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow. Oh, you were telling him not today. Okay. We will likely vote again tomorrow. I'm just not sure what time, but I'll let everybody know. Thank you very much. That concludes today's voting session.
No. My friend's birthday.